Right, we'll see if this is going to work or not, but shouldn't hear us. Hey, right. If anybody out there can hear us, please put in the comments. I'm about 2 minutes delayed at this moment in time. Well, 2 minutes early, I should say, because I'm just getting prepped and beers, everything else. But yeah, this should just be another general chat, like I say, watch related, whatever comes up, and just basically taking our minds off what's happening in the world at this moment in time. Because trust us, after 3 weeks of being in lockdown, I'm starting to go slightly insane, and I'm down to my last 2 beers, and I do not want to go back out to the shops because trust us, it takes you about an hour and a half just to get into a supermarket now, and that's how bad it's getting, and it's daft. I'm actually brewing my own beer now. I've got 40 pints, which is due on Wednesday to be completed, so I'm going to be no beer whatsoever till then. So what I'm going to do is, like I say, I've got a few topics in mind for this. One's AliExpress watches. I've had a bit of hate, especially over me last review, which is this one, which has only been out for a day. And I've had, to be honest, I've had a lot of good feedback, but I've had a lot of bad feedback as well, just for the sake of you doing Chinese watches. But yeah, in all mind, it is a good watch. But people are so critical about what you think and stuff like that. You can't have your own opinion nowadays, or maybe the fact of you can. And because it's just coming up to 9 o'clock, I'm going to open my first beer of the night of 2. I've already had some beers, and I'm even going to be posh for this one because I've got glasses, which I'm not normally this sophisticated with glasses, but hey ho. But yeah, I basically, and like I say, any is pop up in the chat when whatever you feel and your thoughts, because I would really much like to hear them. But I posted up my little Pagani, well, I call it Yachtmaster Homage 1651. And I've posted on a few Facebook groups, and like I say, I did get a lot of good kind of rep on it. And to be honest, it's one of the best achieving videos at this moment in time. I think I'm up to around about 750 views in less than 2 days, which to me, being a small channel, is actually quite big. I know a lot of channels out there can get like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 views within a day, but for me to get close on to 750 in less than 2 days, that's quite big. But I didn't know there was that much hate for Chinese watches, especially ones of this quality, because to be honest, this little kind of Pagani sub Yachtmaster Homage is higher spec than the new Seiko 5 range, and it costs 67 quid. And most of the Seiko 5 range, like recommended retail prices, getting up to the 300s, and they're not worth that. You don't get sapphire crystal, you get mineral. You've got the same movement in as this watch, and this even comes with a screw-down crown. It's got the same depth rating, don't get me wrong, 100 meters, but still, people are willing to pay just for the name. And Seiko are really, really getting on my wick about that at this moment in time. It's just, there's so many good watches they're bringing out that 2-3 years ago would have been maybe 200, 300 pounds maximum, and they've jacked them up to like 600, 700 quid, and you're sitting there. It's like, I might have already gone over this before, but they're doing a version of this Seiko tuner with a frosted dial, which I love. I missed out on the Frost Monster. It's got an absolutely spectacular dial, but the price of it was absolutely astronomical. This cost me 280 quid when I got it originally, and now they're wanting exactly the same watch, just different dial, 650 quid for the same watch, same movement, same everything. And I'm just sitting there going, how can Seiko justify that? And then basically all the bottom range now is just this Seiko 5 SKX copy malarkey, which I absolutely detest. But anyway, enough about me. If, like I say, please shout out in the comments who's here, if any is here. I think there's a few years coming up what's on there, and basically just what you're up to at this moment in time and where you're from. Because like I say, at this moment in time in the UK, we're all heavily still in lockdown. It's been announced that, to be honest, we all knew it was coming. The 3 weeks is getting extended. I can see it happening for maybe getting on for 6, maybe even 10 weeks this, because it's all to keep all the health and the NHS all healthy and dandy and all that. But I know around the world there's a lot of countries actually having a hard... Actually, to be honest, I think the UK is actually getting up there with some of the harder hitting countries now. I don't know if we're like 3rd or 4th place, so we are getting there, but we're trying to peak the curve. Oh, here you go. Hi, Dave. Hello, pal, from Yorkshire. Oh, good old Yorkshire. I'm waiting for my Chinese special right now, Helmdullar. Do you know what? You can't beat a Helm. Let's have a look here, because I've got quite a few. This is the Hulk version of the Helmdullar 007. And do you know what? The older versions are quite like the newer versions are slightly different in the manufacturer. They look the same, but the way they manufacture them now is different, so I can't use mod parts on them. It's really narked me. I've got another watch coming in from Helmdullar, actually. Hopefully, I know this whole virus thing's actually delayed it, but I've got a Mass 62 in bronze homage, which I'm planning on modding, actually. Which should be coming through sometime. It's been in a month. The ironic thing is, I ordered this off AliExpress less than a week, and it came without any import duties either, because the Helmdullars I normally get stung for about 25 quid, 30 quid import tax, and it's absolutely silly. And then you can buy these for 67 quid and it just goes straight through without any issue. And to be honest, they're the same spec. So it's just one of them things. Any day now, can't we? Like I say, you'll like it. Is it your first Helmdullar, Dave? Because like I say, I've got addicted. I've 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got about 7 now. I'm terrible for that. But like I say, the better, in my mind, the better spec than the Seiko 5s. Because like I say, if we pretend this isn't a modded one, because I've modded this, it's got like a domed crystal and a ceramic bezel there. However, these stock come with a sapphire crystal, NH36 movement or 35, depending on what dial you get, and you can pick them up for 140 quid. However, the new Seiko 5s, you can't even get anywhere near that price-wise, and the specs are not anywhere near as good. Because like I say, you don't get sapphire crystal, you don't get a screw-down crown. Don't get me wrong, these aren't ISO standard like the old SKXs. However, I trust the screw-down crown more than I do a push crown, because in all honesty, I know when one of them is set in its locked position. With the one you just pull out, I'm always paranoid that I've left it out. So, you know, physically screwing it in is kind of a bit of a habit for me. Hence why I do like my dive watches. That's all I've got. Well, it's not all I've got. I've got quite a few different ones, but the majority of them are dive watches. Hey, Andrew, house tricks. Oh, it's all good. Like I say, I'm just getting driven insane with the lock-in. Like I say, I'm working from home. I'm actually working out to my conservatory at this moment in time. I'm one of the lucky few that I can actually do my job at home. A lot of my stuff is designing things on CAD and also helping bits of kit out in the field, which is normally deep, thousands of meters under the sea. So I'm actually quite lucky that I've still got a job and I'm still able to work at home. However, we're only actually allowed out for an hour a day. Well, there's no time limit on it, actually. They've just said once a day, but when you've got 2 kids to try and keep entertained, it is fun. Like seeing me watches, though, I've actually modded quite a few. This is my latest one, which I actually just completed today, which is a 12-hour SKX stealth mod. That'll be going to its owner next week if I can find out when the post office is open. And the other one that I've actually just done out the back there, which is another SKX with a sapphire and a ceramic bezel in it as well. So mod parts, ironically, are coming in quite well. So there's a lot of things from Singapore, China, which are actually getting through the system quite quickly. Like I say, the AliExpress stuff does. So postage-wise and supplier-wise, to me, is not the issue. However, me trying to send things out and going to the post office it's a bit of a pain, especially for me customers, because I'm having to sit there and go, look, I'm going to have to wait and see when the post office is open and all that, and wait in queues and things like that. But in all honesty, mod-wise, I am quite fine with suppliers and getting the things in and building them. It's just getting them out, and it keeps us entertained. It keeps me busy and stuff like that. In between my watches, I've got a few things to do on my bikes as well. My big bike outside, my B King, needs a service, so I will be doing that at some point. Alan, hey up, mate. Hello to all. Yes, hello everybody. Alan's joined. Like I say, it's good for all these coming along. Like I say, if you want to start a convo off, I'll just head off in tangents. Don't get me wrong, and I don't know how. Depends how much beer I've had, but I will just go off in random tangents. And also, if you do like this feed, please like, because it does help me out a lot just to get likes and things like that. Because like I say, my channel is increasing day by day. I'm nearly up to 1,100 subscribers, which I've got that. The last 100 I've actually got quite quickly. And this video here for this watch has actually gone quite well as well. So, yeah, I'm quite over the moon. It's starting to build up, don't get me wrong. I'm not like you say, one day I'll be getting thousands of views a day on a video, but until then, I'm just happy enough chattering away, doing my own video and thing. I'm not one of these people that's kind of well into it. Well, I am well into it, but I'm not one that can be sustained by my videos by any means. Hence why I do my job. I like my job, but hey ho. Hi, Levy. I'd like to say you've joined us on a couple of my combos, so you know what you're getting. Gentleman Jack afternoon here. Oh, I've got some Jack Daniels and honey in the fridge there. I'm keeping that as my safeguard because, like I say, the beer in here and the beer here is the only two beers I have in the house. There is a lager in the fridge, but the missus has Bagsied that because she likes the lager. I'm not a big fan of lager. I'm more into me ales and whiskies and all that. You know, well, I'm being a bit more sophisticated with me glass, but no, I'm keeping me Jacks there for the period. I've got a 5-day period where I'm going to have no alcohol until my homebrew actually is ready. And then I've got 40 pints of stout that I need to drink. I like me stout, like my Guinness and stuff, and this is around about 5%. But yeah, around about 50p per pint it works out at, which is absolutely phenomenal. If it works out, I haven't tested it yet, so yeah. But anyway, so what I'd like to say, let's have a look. Do you think a present situation will affect watch prices? Well, the first thing it has affected. See, I want to say yes overall because I know fine well, especially with Baselworld being put on hold and Rolex just announced actually it might be today that they're not releasing their models until they're delaying the release of their models until a year's time, and I think a lot of companies are doing that. Hopefully, like I say, I'm going to say hopefully it's a bad situation we're in. And I don't want to say, right, well, there's going to be, this is going to be the silver lining, but you got to look at these things. It's what gets you through. And in all honesty, I want to say yes, especially initially when they're trying to get like the infrastructure, the economy back up on the feet, because there's going to be a lot, especially in like down my own high street there. There's a family-run jewellers who, to be honest, they've actually just been stolen. Actually, somebody broke in last week and nicked all the Citizen watches. Thank God they didn't nick the Seikos because that's my cup of tea. I do like Citizen, don't get me wrong, but they nicked the whole load of like very expensive Citizens. And the only way I can see them actually getting back up and getting throughput, especially for a small town, is lowering the prices. And like I say, he's quite good because I'll go in there and he'll give us a 25% discount of anything in the window. I've got quite a good rapport with him, actually. And I've got quite a good, good watches of him, like me Turtle Ninja. I actually found in that store and it sat in the window for a year. And I just walked past and thought, I like the look of that. And I didn't realise that a watch that I originally paid, I think it was 350 quid for, was actually worth 800 quid just because it was so rare. But I was over the moon with that, and that was that. Yeah, he gives us a quite a good discount on that. Like I say, let's have a look. Dave, do you think at present situation? Oh, I've already gone over that. Levy, I'm still in good financial shape, hoping like crazy that some prices lower. I think greed will prevail. It always does. Human nature is like that. If I'm honest, like I say, I'm lucky that I'm still working from home. I've still got my full pay coming in. And because I'm working from home, I'm not driving my car, so I will be putting 70 quid in every 2 weeks for that. So there's a lot of things. Tyne Tunnel as well. I have to travel through a Tyne Tunnel. It's like it goes under the Tyne and you have to pay £1.80 each way. And that was like 600 quid a year. So if you divide that up, I'm saving a bit of money. So that's a positive. And I have bought one watch just off another thing. Zelos, if none of you know Zelos, go and have a look at Zelos' site. They do some amazing watches. It's a very small mic. Well, it's not very small mic brand. It's got a good following actually, but he does some amazing watches in small batches. And I've just bought a bronze swordfish with a blue meteorite dial, which looks absolutely amazing. In the sale, I bought it for 300 quid, which I couldn't go wrong with. Don't come with a strap. It's like an X demo. But I thought, no, I want one of them. They've sold out, so I'm going to get one. And the sale actually, I think there was 70 watches in the sale, and they actually sold out within 20 minutes. If you want to watch which will keep its money or increase in value, and I'm not saying buy it to flip, I'm not one of those people. If you want to watch that, you want to buy enjoy for a year or two, and then you want to get rid of it without any hassle with losing any money on it, get a Zelos, because like I say, they're absolutely phenomenal. Because this, I've got my watches over here as well, by the way, so I've got my boxer watches to show you. But this is one of the Zeloses I've got, which is a Zelos Horizons Eventrine, so it's got like a sparkly dial. And originally those would have been, I don't know what they were, 600 quid or something, but I can easily sell that for 800 quid if I want, just because, people want it. It's a nice watch. It's got a 2893 movement in. It's got a ETA, and all of them I've got very nice ones. I'll show you another one actually when I'm on it. That's me Mako V3 with the lovely blue teal dial, which just catches the light like nothing else. That has got to be one of the best. Those two watches, this one and the Aventine's, got to be the best dials in my collection. Full stop. I did a video on that actually, and those two came out on top. But if you want a decent watch, get a Zelos. They are absolutely phenomenal. Oh, perhaps people have commented. Sorry if I go into a rant and go back and then read through. I'm like I say, my mind just gets, it's weird the way my mind works. You don't really want to delve into it. Hey, Snacklofter, evening all, hope everybody is okay. Well, I'm okay, like I say, chat amongst yourselves as well. I'm more than happy for you to do that. Don't just listen to me drone on all the time, and I need another drink of beer. But yes, I hope you're all right, and I hope you're all well and health as well, because like I say, in this day and age, we all have to stick together. We're all humanity here. We all have to be, helping each other out here. And I'm hoping these videos and things like that, and what I'm putting out, is helping people have a bit of a lighter thoughts on life and things like that, because like I say, it's just depressing. Now, you switch the news on, it's just all depressing. I don't like that. I've switched it off at the present. Thieves, yeah. Like I say, do you know, in all honesty, since this lockdown, in Britain, crime has gone down overall by 21%. And the overall death rate actually has gone down because nobody's driving, nobody's having accident. See, this is the warped thing that came into my head, and I worked it out. Even though, and like I say, it's such a bad thing, the death rate of this coronavirus, because it's there, it's in your face. However, because everybody's in the house and everybody's stuck in basically a safe environment, the death rate overall is actually not as bad as what it would be without the virus. And I shouldn't say that because it's such a bad thought, but because everybody's keeping safe, nobody's having accidents, nobody's having, car accidents and stuff. There's things like that. There's other things gone up like domestic violence and some other things that I'm not going to get into because it gets us riled up. But you take with one hand, give with the other. It's a weird situation. But if we weren't in lockdown, it would have been hellish. The government have done the right thing. It's just people are not, like my next door neighbour 20 minutes ago was having a house party next door with 5 of them in. And he's already had the police around telling them not to do it. But that's what you're up against. You're up against people that just think they're immune. They might be, I don't know, but they're above the law and they don't really give two monkeys, and it really boils me piss, to put it politely. Yeah, it's crazy, the savings of staying at home and not dining out. Good, much fun. Yeah, I used to dine. Me and the missus used to dine out every Friday, and like I say, you could easily drop 80 quid easily. We stopped that now. After we had kids, we had to. But yeah, it is. You don't realise financially how, because like I say, this month on watches, and I'm going to hold my hands up here, and most of it's off my modern stuff, I've spent a bit of money. However, I looked at my bank account and thought, this is not going down as quick as I want. And the realisation was I'm not using petrol. I'm not going through the time tunnel. I'm not doing all these journeys about. And pardon me. It's shocking. The other thing is, because of the whole space and the way the supermarkets are working, like say queues for 2 hours, it's absolutely stupid. We're actually not going out to shop as much. We're just basically living off what we've got unless we really need to. So I'm not going through and actually getting a lot of stuff. I'm not paying to do the weekly shop. I'm lasting for 2 weeks now, and it's just because we're getting a bit more frugal. But that's all in all. Like you say, the watches is keeping me sane. Watches, motorbikes, vehicles, my family, it's all keeping us sane, and I'm going there, and I hope you lot are the same as well. And like I say, if you're liking this feed, please press the like button, because it helps me out a ton with anything. But anyway, has any of you had any watch purchases recently, before I get onto some topics of mine, because I've got a few topics going through my head that I'm going to fire your way and get your opinions of. And I've got somebody's comment here that they commented on one of my Tudor videos, and I'm going to read it out, because to be honest, it's one of these ones where I want to seriously disagree with it. He's come across as basically it's a big paragraph of letters, and it's just come across as being a bit like, you want to hate what he's saying, but you know fine well what he's saying is true. It's just human nature. Also, apologise, I've actually had a bit of a clean shave. This is the first time in about 3 years I've decided, when I was in lockdown, to clean shave. Well, ish. Still got a bit of a shadow. But yeah, I look a bit more or less hobo-ish. So, aye. Let's have a look. Evie, digging the new Pagani. Yes, I am. I've got it on now. I am very much digging the Pagani. And like I say, I've got I actually spread my video about a bit, and this video now is actually getting the most views in the first 2 hours in any video I've put up, so I am over the moon, not just with the watch, but the performance it's getting. However, there's a lot of hate out here for this watch, because I put it on one of the forums on Facebook, and I got a lot of people liked it, and then just people going, oh, you're getting paid by Pagani, you're getting Pagani, this, that, and the other. I'd rather have a Seiko. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, if you pay them as much, they'll put your mum's name on it. Well, of course, but in all honesty, and this is going to yet again kill a few people off by what I'm going to say here, but Rolex, the amount of money that goes into Rolex to build it is nowhere near the amount of money that you'll pay for a Rolex out the AD and then the second-hand market. That's one reason I would never buy a Rolex. I've bought a Tudor, so I can't really talk, but I find Tudor is a bit more economical, and you're getting the same quality in my mind, and a bit less, you've got a Rolex on your wrist. I don't like that whole bravado thing with Rolexes. It's just not me. I'm going on about Rolexes. I do actually, there we go. That's a deep sea right there. Rolex deep sea, whatever you call it, with a two-tone dial. Story behind that one is another tangent when I'm on with Rolex. This here is actually a fake. This is actually a what we would class as a, I wouldn't say super fake because the movement is absolutely appalling. It's got a DG 2813, which is an alright movement if it's a decent one, and this one's absolutely horrible. It's literally, if I'm going to unscrew the crown here, because it's quite amusing when you actually set the watch with this. It's got a indirect second hand, so when you go to set the time, it's not going to do it now, is it? There. Hey, look at the second hand. That's quality for you right there. But a guy sent it to us and said, look, can you change the movement in it? And I says, in all honesty, I says, I don't particularly want to. I says, I will if you want, but I says, it's not worth it. It's about 250 quid's worth of watch. The case and stuff is nice, and the dial's done quite well. But he said just keep it because he didn't want it back. He says, in all honesty, it's a fake. It's that, do what you want with it. And I'm keeping it because I'm going to do a video with it. I've worn it once, and if I'm all honesty, it didn't feel well. But the amount of people that commented on it because I was wearing a Rolex, and like I say, these are people that don't know about watches, and that's why people buy these fakes. But the scary thing is, if these fakers actually put a different name on the dial and didn't copy a Rolex, even if it was similar, it's a good watch in all honesty. If you ignore the movement, the case is well done, the actual bracelet's well done. It's even got the quick clasp on it, and like I say, it is a good copy. And if they just put a different name on it, I'm debating whether to debrand that and actually, I wouldn't wear it, it's too big. I was just debating whether to do it as a little sideline project and just put it in my cabinet. But here, let's have a look. There's Peter. Oh, sorry, I'm totally distracting myself off the comments. So, like I say, do bear with me. Definitely some silver lining with the virus half full. It is, but that's the way you have to look at it. Like I say, if we all got into the rut of kind of just dwelling in it, we have to look at it. The one thing I'm looking at is like mortgages going to be through the floor. And we're planning on moving from this house at this moment in time, and like I say, hopefully mortgage rates will be through the floor because they need to get the kind of the economy going again. That's the only way to do it. Let's have a look here, Andrew. I'm waiting like a kid at Christmas on my Steinhardt Premium Titanium 5 GE. Axios Northern Sky Green one, both coming. Do you know what, Axios? I want to get my hands on one of them. And I'm sure Axios, Zelos and Axios, the Elshins got some kind of cross things with them. And they do make some very good watches. There's the green ones. I'm a big fan of green watches. There are a lot of watches in my collection are green. I do like green watches, and they do like it. I'm sure they do a bronze and green version, and I would love that. Steinhardt. This is the thing. I like Steinhardt. Well, how do I put this? I've had Steinhardts, they're good quality and all that, but there's just something about them that doesn't want me to buy them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's that Rolex kind of homage. Don't get me wrong, I'm wearing one now, but the problem is this is 67 quid. I couldn't go wrong, especially for the specs. But for a Steinhardt, you're paying a lot of money for a Swiss-made watch, don't get me wrong, which in the whole scheme of things, it is cheap, and they are good, don't get me wrong. But the one that I have tried did have a few niggles on it, like the bezel was absolutely, if you go back to my Steinhardt video, the bezel was an absolute bugger to turn. It was just so tight, and how many people have actually commented on to me about that, saying mine's exactly the same. And like I say, this one's actually got one of the best bezel actions in my collection, which I was surprised at. The other Pagani doesn't. The other Pagani's got an absolutely appalling bezel action, but this one is phenomenal. Let's have a look here. But yes, titanium, a GMT though, you can't beat a GMT function. Like I say, I love my GMT watches. Congrats, Andrew, be there stoked. Yeah, it's good. Like I say, good big thing there. I ordered the same PD 1651 you have during the sale on AliExpress. However, it's not shipping as fast to the US. 7 days for yous to arrive as always. Like I say, I've bought 2 watches now off AliExpress, which is this one and my 1639, or was it 38? Anyway, the bigger brother, which is the Sub Hulk, and that came in, I think this one came in 6 days. It is absolutely phenomenal, especially accounting that the flights are all, there's reduced flights and things like that. But like I say, for us, and I didn't pay any taxes on it, which is out of the blue for me. Anything that comes into this country watch-wise, other than parts, gets taxed. However, the Pagani stuff doesn't seem to be, so that's good. I am planning on debating to rip this one apart. Well, not rip it apart because I like it that much, but take it apart and see what the sizing is, see if any mod parts fit on it. I know the bezel is the same bezel that you would put on to SKX mods with them dome crystals, so I can actually change the bezels and stuff on them. Movement should be the same. I don't know about the dial. I'm presuming the dials are about the same size as an SKX, so might be able to do some very nice mods with these. If for 67 quid for the base, put it this way, for a movement, the NH35 movement, for me to buy one, a decent one, is £35. So basically, half the value of this watch, even out the bat, is just the movement for me if I was to mod it. Now, don't get me wrong, they're buying them in bulk, they're getting a discount and stuff like that, but to make a profit at £67, don't get me wrong, that was, like I say, I had a few coupons and sales and stuff like that, so that's why I got to that price. But, you know, it is amazing value, and I don't care what people say about China. It's got a Seiko movement in. It's, you know, that comes out of a Seiko designated factory. It's just not branded Seiko. So I know the movement is spot on. The cases are decent. The only things that with Pagani are a bit of an issue are the loom is absolutely appalling. The loom is just non-existent. So you can't use this as a watch in the dark at all. In 5 minutes, it's gone. The bezel action on the other one is appalling. The thing with this one is the crown is gritty as anything. And it does feel very bad. I'm hoping, I haven't oiled it yet, but I'm hoping I can fix that. But that's a job for another day. Let's have a look. Levy, I've had 2 of the Z-Losses, both great value watches, and I've got 2 Steinert watches, both 39mm Pepsi GMTs. Very nice. That's a size and right up my street. 38 to 42 millimeters is just in my ballpark for a perfect size. I do wear bigger watches. I like bigger watches, but that is my perfect kind of size. I sent it back because the bezel would not turn. They fixed it, but still very stiff. It's a complaint I've heard about Steinert over and over again. I don't know what they're doing. Like I say, I even offered when I did the one of the I've had 2 in my hands. One I reviewed, one I didn't. It was in for a movement replacement. He dropped it and basically buggered the movement in it, so I put another ETA in it. But I offered to strip it open. I managed to actually get the bezel action quite nice, but it wasn't lubed up at all because I always lube the actual mechanism. So it's got a ratchet on. It's also got like an O-ring, which gives you a bit of resistance, which gives you a nice resistance. So it's not just floating against your ratchet. And it wasn't oiled. Actually, to be honest, I put a slightly thinner O-ring in, which fixed it very, very nicely. So you can get around and fix it, but you shouldn't have to as an owner need to do that. It should be right straight out the box. And I'm sorry if you're getting new things. There's another party going on over there. I think it's actually just I'm not going to go at them because they're all actually, it's a big family, so they're just out in the garden having a bit of fun. So apologise if there's a bit of banter going on out there. I'm going to take another swig of beer. This beer isn't going down that quick. I'm surprised because I'm doing that much talking. Let's have a look here. Alan, having all this time at home is a bad thing as it gives me too much time to look over more watch purchases. It does, like I say, the Z-Loss, like I say, the Z-Loss had a sale on, and the only reason I knew that was going to happen was I was literally browsing through the Facebook page the day before, the timekeepers, and he says, oh, I'm putting this up here, you go 4 p.m. or 11 Eastern Seaboard, 4 p.m. for me, and I'm sitting there going, right, I'm going to put, it was literally getting to around about the minute before, and I'm refreshing the page, and as soon as it came up, I was like, buy. But the thing is, I didn't even know the prices at that point. I just knew I wanted a swordfish with a meteorite dial in blue and bronze, and I found one for 300 quid. And I went, I'm buying that. And then I nearly bought a, what was it, a Great White. I went, oh, I want a Great White. And I thought, do you really need a Great White? And I went, no. I could have easily spent 700 quid within 5 minutes, which is not a good thing to do. Like I say, and especially in this climate, I should really be saving money. But then again, like I say, I'm not spending as much. Swings and roundabouts, mate. But Andrew just ordered 2 Zeos from distributor on eBay. Got a Mako and a Swordfish. Which version Mako? Because there's 3, I think. Because I've got a version 3. I haven't. Pardon me. Very impolite. Very gassy beer. Because there's 3. I think there's a V1, V2. I've got a V3. And I think the V1 and V2 are 500 meter depth. I think they're slightly bigger. But yeah, again, they had some of them on actually. They had a V2s on. I was going to get one of them. But yeah, again, thought against that. I've got one more Zelos. I'm going to put it to bed at that. But yeah, and the Swordfish, and I'd like to say that's coming in. I'm very hopeful. A lot of good reviews on the Swordfish, so I'm very hopeful of that one. Let's have a look. Rod. That's how I justify a couple of my Carney purchases. I told myself the movement is there to be had if any of them are better movement. Well, that's this. This is the thing with a lot of watches with NH movements in. You can buy them quite cheap. Like Zelos normally do a couple of versions of their watches. So they'll do one with an ETA movement and they'll do one with an NH35 in. Now, this here is a Zelos Hammerhead in bronze. Big chunky watch, but it's got a very short lug to lug, so it wears quite well. He's got the chronograph versions of this on at the moment, but they're like $1,400 so they are quite pricey. However, they had an ETA version of this, and I thought, no, if I I didn't get this. This is actually a prototype. It doesn't have the actual helium escape on. This is the one he sent us to do the review on because it was a prototype. He says I don't need it back, so I've just kept it. And it's absolutely phenomenal watch. But the NH35 movements, and if it ever goes wrong, I just have to buy another NH35 movement. And literally, for me to do a movement swap on this or any other watch, in all honesty, takes us 20 minutes. I've done that many. It's quite easy to do. The main things is just when you're trying to get like a 3 o'clock crown movement to a 4 o'clock crown, you have to remove the date discs and all that. That becomes a slight bit of a palaver, but I've got that perfected now. But that's why I go for the NH movements, because they're cheap, they're cheerful, they're good workhorses, and you can regulate them quite nicely. And if you wanted to, you could actually stick a NE15 in, which is basically a 6R15 movement. I've got one in the back, and they're 120 quid if you put the taxes and stuff on. You get a bit more hour reserve, it's a bit more accurate, but in all honesty, what more do you want the watch? So I do like my ETA movements, so I just dread to think when it comes to surfacing and stuff like that, because I'll do them myself, but it's just a minefield at the end of the day. Good old NH35s is the way to go, in my mind. Let's have a look here. 2 Swordfish. That's how I just fire up mine. I got a Hammerhead 2 and a Mako 3, and my Mako is my favourite. I love the Mako. The sizing of the Mako V3, I would dare say, is perfect, especially for my wrist. I've got a 6 3/4 inch wrist. I am not the biggest bloke in the world by any means, which I keep getting reminded of by work colleagues. I'm just the 7 foot, no, 7 foot? God, 5'3", no. 5'7" that's what I am. Mrs. says 6, but I always add the extra inch on because every inch counts, But I didn't even drink that way. But yeah, it's definitely the perfect size, the V3, I think. And he's also, like I say, the Horizon's also the perfect size for me with the 40mm case. He's bringing out a second Horizons as well, GMT, very, very soon. I know it's a bit delayed with all the Corona stuff on, so I'm just waiting on that at this moment in time coming up, because that might be my next big purchase, because I know that's going to have an ETA in it as well, so no doubt a lot of money. Let's have a look there. Rod, my thoughts the same. Yeah, like I say, Zelos is good. Like I say, if you're going to go on, let's have a look here. Oh, come on, man, you're the biggest they come in your size. Well, everything comes, like I say, it's blessing and curses. That's, to be honest, a lot of decent watches got out and fit on my wrist quite well, but there's a lot of big watches like the Citizen EcoZilla. I got one of them in my hands, and I modded one for another watchmate of mine, and I so wanted one, but I put it on my wrist, and I'm not kidding you, it looked hilarious. It looked absolutely huge on my wrist, and I thought, I can't wear that. I just can't. I love the watch, I love the idea behind it, but I just can't wear something that big on my small wrist. But hey ho, like also ignore all the mess in the background, like I say, with all the kids and stuff. I've just noticed that I've even got my bike covered up as well. Like I say, I'll uncover that. Let's give that a bit of light today. There we go. I normally have that out in the daytime, but today I've just been that busy I forgot to uncover it. So, but yeah, I'm just a little fella. Makes it tricky with the bell and the mark. It does. Big watches at this, like, well, for the last few years, big watches has been the thing. It's like that Aragon, Aragon, what I tested a few weeks back. In all honesty, that was just far too big. I love the watch, and I'm going to have to flip it because I'm never going to wear it how big it is. But I love the look of the watch, and if it was just 2 mil shorter, it would be absolutely amazing. But it's not. I'm going to have to get rid of it, and it's absolute Hulk. But like I say, the Zelos are good because they make, like I say, this Hammerhead 2. It's a huge watch and it's 17 mil thick. And actually, Mr. Zelos has just come on. Hello, Celine Driver. This is right up your street. Zelosses, I'm talking Zelosses here. But the Zelos Hammerhead 2 is a chunky watch. However, the lug to lug is only 47 millimeter, so it fits on my wrist absolutely perfectly. So it's a big watch that looks big, but on my wrist doesn't look actually out of this world. It looks actually in proportion. And yeah, this is one of my favorite big watches, if not one of my favorite watches in my collection. It's absolutely lovely, and that's why I've kind of got into Zelos now. It's just far, yeah. Yeah. I know. I've just got I have four. Yeah, Mr. Zelos has, remind me, 17, 16, 17. I don't know. I know it's in the teens how many you've got, or is it 20? But yeah, Zelos are good. I'm going to stop on the Zelos rant now because, like I say, it's a brand of watch that came out the blue for me. But like I say, Elshin, I can email them, and like I say, a lot of people will back me up on this. You email them, give him a comment or something like that, even a bit of kind of, oh, this would be a good idea, this would be a good idea. And he gets back to you. He actually is a decent bloke. And he's, I'm not going to say one-man band, but he puts his heart and soul into it. And because of that, and because he listens to the people, like I say, if you go on the Facebook group, a lot of his ideas and things like that from the community get put into future watches. And there's a design gone up just now, actually, where he said, what's your opinion? This is the next kind of thing. He's going for a slightly different design on the latest diver he's going for. It's a bit of a slimmer design. It's got a bit of a curved look design. Looks nice. But he's opened up and said, look, do you like this? What do you think? When to be honest, a lot of companies out there don't do that. They just go, this is what you want. We know what you want. So here we go. We're going to give it. Which is what Seiko's doing at the moment with the Seiko 5 range. As in just giving us a pile of stuff we don't, well, a watch person wouldn't want. Let's say that. But it's more fashion watch, but I'm not even going to get into that. The other thing, when I'm on, I don't know if you got my messages, Celine Driver. The guy with that frostbite, I messaged him. He's looking for people to review it. I give him a few options, and if you want to review that frostbite, just say it and get it sent to you. Because he says he's more than happy to take any of my advice and reviews. But I don't know, he's a crazy person if he's taking my advice. But if you do want that, you messages privately and send it over to you. Because like I say, I've done reviewing for a very nice watch. I'm going to get one when they come out on the Kickstarter. If you haven't seen my frostbite video with the Spectre, have a look. It's a very unique looking watch, and it's a very nice looking watch, and it wears absolutely superb on the wrist. But it's going to be delivery September. Its Kickstarter campaign's on the 11th of May, I think. But yeah, but I really, really want one of them watches. Yes. Like I say, if you go onto my YouTube channel, my email address should be on there. It's like grimwoodwatchmodern@yahoo.co.uk. Just send us your address and sort it all out, and I'll get it sent to you. Because like I say, he's more than okay sending it to you. So yeah, I have the email somewhere to message you. I tell you what, and just do it. I forget I can message you. Look, this is modern technology for you, and actually, Grimwood Watch. Sorry, I can't multitask being, the mail thing, but so I will shut up when I'm actually That there is my email address, and this is open for all you. This is my open email address. If you want mods, any questions about watches, actually, I'm more than happy to deal with it through that on my Facebook group. But if any of you have anything, messages through there, and I will get back to you as soon as I can on my Facebook page. But yes, Celine Driver, that Frostbite, you're next on the list to review it. So he's okayed that with me, and it's a lovely green. I love the green ones. They are, if they get to a certain limit, they're going to do a blood red version, and there's not enough red watches in this world. I don't think I have one, which is a prototype which I got given, and that's it. And I would love another blood red watch. I just red and green's what the thing, like this one, like I say, or black and red, because I say this is one mod I want to keep. I've just finished it. Like I say, some of you saw this at the beginning, and I do love red and black. One of my motorbikes is full red and black, and oh yes, blood red is what you want. Let's have a look somewhere. Yes, cool. So on the, let's say, I did have a pile of topics in mind, and I've just gone on a total random rant of total tangents here and there. Like I say, I do apologise for that, but I think, like I say, putting the topics. But one of the big topics that I was going to try and get people's views on was, like I say, at the beginning of the video, I did touch on about things like I say, I love me hate them, the Pagani design watches and Helm Dollar and stuff like that. In my mind, it's a lot of watch for your money, and it's basically just whooping the backsides of things like Seiko and stuff like that. I know people say, oh, they're done in sweatshops, they're done on this, that, and the other. However, and I had this argument again with somebody else on one of the forums. I was sitting there going, but you're paying for the provenance, you're paying for the engineering, you're paying for that. And I'm sitting there going, it's got a Seiko NH35 movement in it. It's already got Seiko provenance in it. It's just the case and stuff that doesn't. But you know, you can argue until you're blue in the face that red is green to somebody, and they'll just totally ignore you. But the other thing I was going to get onto, and I've got, I was like to say, this is a comment that I got on my YouTube on me GMT date failure. Got it back. Will be a review video doing this. Very interesting. Actually, I'm going to do this now. Sneak peek into the next video. That one of the next videos. I've got about 5 coming up. I've got far too many. I've got far too many videos coming up, and editing takes, like I say, you would think you just record it and put it on, but I like to edit me things, and it takes, as literally, I'll do 4 hours recording because I do it over and over again. I do it off the bat, there's no script, I literally just go dang, dang, dang. So if I get it wrong, I have to go back. It's a bit annoying, but I like the way I do it. It feels natural, it feels flowing. Yeah, it's editing takes at least a good night to do, and even then I'll edit it, render it, which takes 3 hours to do on my computer, and then there'll be a mistake in the final edit, so I then have to do it again. It's right pain in the ass. But anyway, so I got this comment on my GMT, and it's great, and it starts off like this. This is from, he is called John. He's put the message up here, so you'll be able to see it anyway. And he goes, "This whole hobby is ridiculous." That's a great open. This is what starts us off going, I really want to argue the toss with this person. And he's open to his own views, but it's literally a paragraph. And it's like I say, I'm reading it because some of it I will have to actually go through. Before I do that, let's read the comments quickly. Email censor, right, Celine Driver, like I say, I'll get onto that. And when I next get to the post office, when I can, which hopefully should be next week, I will get that sent off to you. So that will be coming to you. It's a great watch anyway. Like I say, you will love it. Especially with the strap. Straps are lovely. I don't have anything negative to say about Helm Dollar when it comes to money. Save where you can. You can, like I say, there's a lot of watches out there where you're paying, like I say, Seiko at this moment in time is a prime example. You're paying a lot of money for nothing more in a watch. And like bring up Zelos again. Just I'm going to pick on Zelos Day, even though it's not pick on. It's like celebrate Zelos. But for the price I would pay for, let's say, I'm going to bring out a homage here from Helm Dollar, which is my Sumo. Now, if I was going to go for a Seiko Sumo, one of the new ones, at retail, if I went into a shop, even not, £700 to £750 for that, which will have the new movement in, which is the 6R35, I think. 70 hours power reserve, quite impressive, I know that. But even the older ones with the older movement in, is £500. I can get a Zelos, like the Mako V3 there, I paid £300 for, and it's got a Miyoto 1915 movement in, 28,800 beats per hour, and the quality is absolutely spectacular. And that there is a rarer watch than anything Seiko, but it's like the Turtles, the Ninja Turtles, one I had, which I flipped for a profit. Don't get me wrong, I flipped it for a profit, I'm not going to lie there. But Was that turtle 750 quid's worth of watch? It wasn't. The only reason I picked it up was because it was 250 in an AD window and I got a discount. And I thought, well, I wore it and I thought I'm too scared to actually dint the case because it was black PVD. I like black watches, but they're a pain because they scratch easy and you can't fix them. Stainless, you polish them out. I've got the gear to do that. But 750 quid for an NH, basically a 4R36 movement watch. That is just a limited number, which they didn't even release a limited. Well, it was a limited edition. They didn't release how many numbers were released. Whereas the Zelos, the majority of them are either in between 50 to 200 units per batch, per model, per kind of theme color. That there is well, there's a word. It's not going to come out my tongue because I'll just mess it up. I'm terrible with me wording, but it's exclusive. You know that's an exclusive watch, and he'll even do batches like 10. Schleen Driver will tell you because he's got a Spitfire one. I'm sure you've got one that's like a Spitfire chronograph. It's called the Spitfire anyway, but that's a one-off. And the thing is, that's where it comes from. It's like you're getting quality at a decent price, whereas just because they've got a brand name, they'll just basically put amount of money on because they can. And that's basically what Rolex do. It's just advertised at the end of the day and people buy into it. It's like one of the biggest ones is Richard Mille, which absolutely astonishes me because they're going for like, it's a plastic watch at the end of the day. The majority of the watches are plastic with, don't get me wrong, well, they don't look good. They don't. They look different, put it that way. But there's some of them going up £1 million for a plastic watch, for goodness sake. And I can get a homage that's done exactly the same case design, same material per se. Movement looks identical for 400 quid. And in all honesty, unless you look close, because most of the Richard Milles just have Richard Mille written on very small on the movement, you wouldn't know the difference. And that's the thing. It's just people buying them for the sake to say, I've got money. And that's Instagram kind of day and age nowadays. It's absolutely atrocious. It's like you say, footballers and all that. Look, me, watch money, da 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 da. I'm not like that. I'll put a watch on because I like it. I like the engineering stuff. That's why I went with a Tudor instead of a Rolex because I just don't like that. Oh, wait, let's have a look. There's more people commenting. Let's have the next one. Let's a levy. Just kidding, man. Not about the boredom, though. Oh, the boredom is absolutely dire. Like I say, I don't know what it's like in other countries at the moment. I know America's starting to get things in, but because it's such a big country, I'm guessing each state has a different thing. And so, believe it or not, my next video only one is oh well, I'm not going to be shocked at that, to be honest. Like I say, I've just got I don't know if you got anything Schleen Driver off that sale Elshin did. I've got a Swordfish Blue Meteorite coming in bronze, which I'm very excited to do. Waiting for that to come very eagerly, but I'm guessing it's going to be a couple of weeks before that comes in. But I mean, a few videos I've got coming. I've got let's have a look. I've got my Aventrine Zelos. I'm going to put a video up. I know you can't buy them no more. He actually sold the last batch in that sale, actually. But I'm going to put a video because it's a good watch and there's still a couple of Aventrines. Horizons you can still get a hold of. And it should lead up to the Horizon 2. But yes, my one-off Spitfire, love it, will never sell it. One of one is a great thing. It looks good, to be honest. It is very nice. If you haven't seen that video, Schleen Driver actually put a video up of that watch. It is a very good video. I highly recommend it. Levy, I'm crossing my fingers for another Doxer. That's my dream currently. Yet again, Schleen Driver is very into it. Well, you've got a couple of Doxers. You had a pile of Doxers before, but you have a couple now. Have a look at a few of Schleen Driver's videos. He's got a load of Doxers if you haven't already done it. I like Doxer as well. I want one in orange. You have to get me in orange. That's the trademark Doxer thing. And the good fact about it is they tested a lot of colours on. They came out that orange was the best colour to see underwater, which is fact. The other good thing is that the actual minute hand's bigger than the hour hand because the minute hand as a diver is the more important hand. Because to be honest, you don't want to know hours, do you? You want to know how much air you got in your tank, and that's minutes. So, like I say, Doxer is got very nice design cues and very engineering based. It's not just the fact it looks good, it's got a purpose, and that's what I like about things. That's what I like about watches and tour watches. Never seen RM, I like them ever. Like I say, it's Richard Mille's just it's yet again it's sales. That's the thing. He's good at selling things. You know, oh look, there's a watch, and people go, oh, there's only one off, mind. Oh, then there's a big sales thing. But yeah, they're going crazy, as they say in Yorkshire. Ooh. Too much. Like I say, I like Yorkshire. Just think, I know Yorkshire's a big place, but I actually like Yorkshire quite a bit. It's just down the way from me. Very nice countryside. Very nice. I'm a big. I'm going to say this. I'm going to sound geeky again. I'm a train enthusiast. There's a lot of nice railways down there. And I went to university in Sheffield as well, which is technically Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, I think. Yeah. Hmm. No, it looks to have last sealed, but I had most of those. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I had most of them already. I was going to buy two. I was going to buy a blooming this Great White as well, but I stopped myself. Hey, Grimwood, how about a Suxima? Oh, do you know what? I've got one. I do have one, and it's in my mod box. I took the bezel off because I needed a bezel for one of the client mods, and I do actually have a Doxa mod. I have got 12 Doxa style dials that I got in cheap, and I re-loomed them. And yeah, I do have a few Doxa style ones. I will have to do a video on one of them, so don't worry about that. It's the one watch I don't have at my side, and you spring it up. And I have an Aventine already. Well, it is a nice watch, the Aventine. I got it by total mistake. Somebody actually gave us the. I talked to a good guy who I do a lot of mods for. There's a couple of watches I actually have of his, which I've done one, such as this little SKX013, which I've put with the cameras up there. I've put a double dome on it, and it's also a NH36 movement in there. But I do a lot of mods for him. He lives in Australia. And he got one of the favoured 10, I think, because Elshin kept back 10 for warranty and stuff. And he managed before this to kind of get one off him, and I think it's 97 I've got. Yeah, I've always wanted one. He offered in payment. He just said, "Look, can you take this as part of the payment?" I went, "Yes." I'm not going to say no to an Aventine by any means. Let's have a look. Hey, Grimwood, how about Soxmo done that? I have still got Doxa left. Used to have seven Doxas. It's hard to find in the UK, actually. They very seldom come up. So, I think there's one AD in the UK for Doxas. I might be wrong, they're correctors, but I'm sure there is. So most of them, but the orange and the blue I keep. You need the orange one. The orange one is, well, at least you kept the right colours. Yes. They do yellow one as well. I like yellow one. I like garish colour watches. I've got a few orange ones in me collection. It's just one of them things. I don't get the whole Richard Mille thing. Just don't make me excited. No, I've seen a few, like I say, they're just huge, big blocks of watches, and they're just, like I say, the material in them is nothing. Like I say, the carbon fibre, it's just bravado around them. Like I say, I've got money. This is what I have a Great White cheese, the nice one. Like I say, I was going to pull the button on one, but I thought, no, I'm going to have to hold myself up. I can't spend 800 quid in one day. Good times, man. I usually don't care about a ton of live feeds, but this is a good. Like I say, the way I kind of do these live feeds is I am just having a general chat in a room of people. That's what it is. I don't like where you're getting being talked at, which no doubt most of you are feeling like you are doing, but I like to get involved. I like to naturally go into things. Like I say, I had a pile of topics in my head. If I don't get onto them, hell with that. I've had fun just talking to you a lot. Like-minded people around a table with beer. And look, because I'm talking that much and I'm enjoying the conversation, I'm not drinking my beer that quick, which is something because I like me beer. I haven't even gotten to my second can, and that's me life and death. That's me 6.5%, and that's that. If you're ever in the UK, this is actually a Yorkshire beer. Vocation as a Yorkshire brewery. You'll find it in things like the Tap and stuff do this. That's a beer chain around Britain, Yorkshire beer chain. That is a very good beer. Do not drink too much of it because it does get you a bit doolally a bit quick. I'm just going to wet the whistle a bit there. The Aventine dials are fantastic, and my dad found an Omega Blue Moon Speedy with an Aventine dial. Oh, I didn't know Omega did one. I'll have to have a look at that. That's usually my live feeds go. Your live feeds are great, to be honest. I need, like I say, you need to tell us when your next one's up, because I will be joining in on that by any means. Just like I say, I like partaking and I like doing. That sounds wrong. But anyway, I'm digging myself in. I says I like it both ways as well. That doesn't sound right either. I've got to that part, and like I say, I've got that part in the day where lockdown's just got into my head, and I'm just blurting out random things. Get it down your neck, man. Well, I am. I'd like to say I'm not a true Geordie. I wasn't born north of the Tyne. My second son was, ironically, but I was born in Durham, so technically I'm a posh one. I'll catch the next one. Yeah, me and funny accent. You cannot beat the Geordie accent. Like I say, it's a natural. It actually got voted the most sexy accent. I don't know whether it's a UK or worldwide. The Geordie accent was, I think, was in between Geordie and Irish, but I do get mistaken for Irish and Scottish, which, to be honest, they are very close together. And I do actually have Irish and Scottish in me somewhere down the line. I used to be bright ginger. I'm not now. It's kind of darkened. My beard was, but it's gone now. Second bottle of wine and not even using a glass now. Oh God! See, I normally drink it out of the can, but I'm being sophisticated now because I got these beer glasses in a shipment of beer, and they were free. And I thought I'm going to be sophisticated for this live feed. Hey, don't get started on the wine. I can easily drink a few bottles of that. Yes, I've had a chance to review two of them Vostok videos coming. I don't get it. Do you know what Vostok? Or I've got. I love having me watch. I love having me little watch box here. I'm gonna just if none of you have seen, just quickly. Um, just removing all the watches that are loose in it. But that's this is one of my many watch boxes, as you can see. So I put it next to my computer and just grab and run any watch. But this here is my Vostok GMT. And this is my first and only one, but I've got to get more. But the thing is with me Vostoks and Vostok watches in general, they were designed for a purpose, and that's what they would do. Because if you look into the design cues of these, like the way the crystal was designed, actually the depth rating of these watches increases as it goes down because the pressure actually forces a force onto the crystal, which then applies it onto the seal. So it actually at atmospheric pressure, it's not that watertight, but as soon as you start going down, the water resistance kind of gets more and more. The problem is with these, and a lot of people don't know this, you can't test them in conventional depth testers, which is a bit annoying because you need the water on top and you need the pressure on top of them to see if they leak. So it is a bit of another one. But if you do get your hands on a Vostok, because like I say, and the GMTs are nice. They've got a wobbly crown and setting the date. They don't have a quick set date, so you have to go in between 10 and 3. Go backwards and forwards to actually set the date, which is a bit annoying. So I never set the date on this. I literally just leave it and ignore it. But they are a very, very nice watch. And that cost me, I think, £100. And unlike things like Pagani and Helmdall and stuff, Vostok have got a good following and they're very well respected in the watch community just because they are a tool watch and that's all they ever were. And it's just because they've got popular and they are nice. Just make sure you get if you're buying a Vostok, make sure you get a full stainless steel case like that GMT, because they did do like a base metal coated and they tend to kind of wear down over time. So just watch that and they do kind of corrode. So if you're in for a Vostok, get a full stainless steel case. Nice. Random Rob has a great looking red Vostok. He does. It's one of the radio ones, if I recall, with the. Pardon me, I'm so impolite. But yes, it's one of the radio ones with the little kind of things on. That's quite a famous dial. I think Vostok is a touch overrated. I like mechanicals of it. Well, I've got one of the things I did with this one. I didn't show you actually. I actually put a display case back on. It's not the prettiest of movements. Don't get me wrong. But it is a movement that's just done for, like I say, it's engineered to be a good workhorse. It only beats at 18,000 something or other beats per hour, so it's a very slow beat rate. But the service intervals on a Vostok's 10 years, and that's from the company. 10 years for a Vostok. No Rolex or anything else will not beat that. Don't get me wrong, it might do, but this is only recommended to get serviced every 10 years. And you can't beat that. That's the thing. You're buying a watch that's £100, that's recommended service interval at 10 years and it's mechanical. Can't go wrong for that. But yeah, like you say, I think it's just a cult behind the Vostoks. It's Russian, it's industrial. I think it's just got big fun. And it does have quite a big modern kind of basis as well. So it's like Seiko SKXs. They're good to mod. Well, another collector gave me a chance to play with two of them, and I said, sure, content, that's the thing. Like, the best thing especially with YouTube, and the thing, to be honest, I can't say in the UK, we don't have many big reviewers in the UK, and I know this might sound a bit kind of not bad, but a lot of them that are big in the UK into Rolexes, Tudors and stuff, and they've got I'm not even going to say poncy, what's the word? Down to earth. I like me down to earth stuff, but they're very kind of upmarket, and that's not me. Even though I've got a few expensive watches, but that's not me. I'm not upmarket and all that, and I don't really get involved with any of them. Whereas the American kind of views, like I say, if you like Celine Driver, say for example, even Random Rob and stuff like that, they're down to earth. They're just normal people doing what they love for the sake of loving it. However, there's a lot of, and I shouldn't say this because, like I say, I'm not hating by any means, but there is a lot of people reviewing things out there, just in general, that are doing it just for the bravado and just for look at me get views, and that's not me. I do it for the fun, and it's an excuse to buy watches. And it's and like I say, I've got a lot of people like the guy who lent us that Frostbite, who's the owner, he's the designer, just said, look, I've seen your videos. Oh, well, I went to him and, look, do you want us, can I do a review? And he says, yes, I've seen your videos, here you go. And that's the thing, you just get to know one another, and you get to kind of share things and stuff like that, and that's what it's all about. And you get a lot of watches, like you say, I think I've had 20 watches through my hands that aren't mine that I've kind of had a go with. And it's nice to do because you don't have to spend money on them. You send yours out for them to have a look at, and you kind of share your experience with them. And it's very, very nice. It's like a little club at the end of the day, it is. But like I say, I do wish that I was more in the American kind of group of watch reviewers and stuff, because it does seem like there's a good group of people over there. Now, being over here trying to send things to America and back and forth would be expensive over a period of time. It wouldn't be worth it. But let's have a look here. I have a vintage square. It's smaller and patinaed and rough. It's cool and tight to buy another one. The Kamaski, the Komodoskis, I can't pronounce that whatsoever. They're a bit more rough and ready than the Amphibias. I think they're a bit cheaply made. 19,800. Thanks for that. I'll remember that. Industry is good work for them. Yeah, like I say, I think Soviet embodies them well. Like I said, I got 7 videos made and ready. I got 3 watches to still make videos for, and I know I got 2 more to come in the mail. Or do this for fun. I mean, that's the thing. We're in for the love of it. And like I say, I've got at least 4 or 5 videos which are in kind of pre-editing. Let's say I just haven't got around to it. And the last, like I say, this one, I got this watch around 4 days ago, I think, and I just wanted to get this one up. But like I say, this has actually been one of my more successful reviews, because I don't even have the live updates on us at the moment, but it was up at 750 in 2 days, which for me, like I say, it's not a big number in general, but for me, that's massive. It's best performance video I've had. But anyway, let's have a look. Nah, I do this for now. Let's see, where would I see your videos? Oh, YouTube, Celine Driver, you can answer that. Like I say, she's very good content, so I'll let him answer that. But when I'll get back onto the topic I was getting for with this comment right here. So I'm going to take a beer for this, because like I say, it's one I wanted to argue with, but I couldn't. So it starts off with, this hobby is ridiculous. Now, when you get that in a comment, you're immediately on the defensive of, oh, he's going to be slagging off the video, he's going to be this, that, and the other, which you get, and I kind of just play along with it, because like I say, people just want to slag. If they want to slag, they'll slag it off. And this is what he's put, okay? And I just want to see what your responses are for this. He goes, I love watches as well, but humans are have been making clocks that kept 2 seconds a day over 200 years ago. Yeah, they did. Add a complication, really. I mean, if these things didn't have names or brands on them, let other people know that they were successful, there'd be no way you'd be able to buy this kind of thing. It's a bit jumbled, but anyway, I know what he's saying. He's saying brand. It's just branding. I am guilty of that as well, to be honest. Pretty sure I could put a $40 Chinese movement in a Rolex, and 90% of Rolex owners, and they wouldn't have no idea. Which, in all honesty, that's what basically these fakes are. The movements in these are basically maybe 20 quids, well, even less than that, tenner to make these DG 2813 movements in there. This is a fake Rolex, and people wear these because 90% of the people out there in this planet won't know that this is a fake Rolex at a glance. In all honesty, if you saw that on the wrist, if you didn't have it in your hands and had a good feel of it, you wouldn't know either. And that's one reason I wouldn't buy a Rolex, because people these are guilty until proven innocent. That's what Rolexes are. People immediately think they are fake. They don't think they're actually genuine. They think they're fake. And then they look into it being genuine. That's why I wouldn't buy a Rolex. Why would I spend 14 grand for people to go, that's a 60 quid rip-off, that is. But in all honesty, people go to Turkey, they go to these places and things like that, and there's counterfeits all over, and you can buy them cheap, and that's why people don't like them. Tudors, on the other hand, even though you can get fakes, people are less known to Tudor, hence why I bought the Tudors. But anyway, getting back onto this, Chinese Rolex. In fact, some of these cheap Chinese movements would be more accurate than your Rolex movement. Now, don't get me wrong, Rolex movements are very accurate, and they keep the accuracy over a period of time. They are good for that. So I have to say, yeah, there might be a Chinese movement out there that might be like that, but trying to get the kind of constant kind of output and things, you might not be able to get that. Let's have a look. I love Breitling and Blatch Plan. Totally pronounced that wrong, but my nephew's 150 quid Orient keeps about 3 seconds a day right out the box. And everybody that says they buy it because it's an amazing movement cannot tell anything about the watch movement other than it has a hairspring that may be made of some weird material. It's hilarious. It goes on, like I say. And by the way, Rolex Submariner, you pay 9,000 for a watch, which costs basically £1,000 out the door when made. Yes, I agree with that one, friends. Anyway, get to the gist. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, I can't tell me he's wrong because, to be honest, he's stating quite a lot of good facts. And I'm not talking about the 1% that could actually know a lot about mechanical watches. I'm talking about the rest of you. This is where it starts to get a bit more kind of the rest of you. You don't know Jack. That's basically what he's saying. You know who you are. Now, like I say, the reason I buy mechanical watches is because the engineering in them is quite outstanding. Some of these watches have got 250 parts and you wear it on your wrist. And, they use a mechanical energy stored in a string to tell the time. Come on, it's amazing. Oh, yeah, if you feel that a GMT feature could be helpful, I suggest you learn to add. That made me laugh. That did. Yes, I obviously if I know what the actual time zone is, but the reason why you have a GMT watch is to set it and you glance at it without having to do the maths in your head. That's what pilots buy GMT watches. If you were smart enough to put together thousands of dollars to buy a watch, you can probably add a single-digit number for most of the part. And that was the comment. That, like I say, I can agree with some of them. The bottom bit's just insulting. Well, not insulting. He's just trying to get a bite out of us. I haven't answered him back. I'm going to try and think of not a sarky thing. I'm trying to answer him very politely. But yeah, it's just one of those things. At the end of the day, we're creatures of habit. We buy, and we're all guilty of it. We buy things with brand names because they've got brand names on. People recognise them. People think you've paid money for them, and that's the bread and butter of today's society. We're all guilty of it. We're all creatures of habit. But at the end of the day, part of being humans just wanting things that really don't have a purpose in life. We're here to basically breed, propagate, and basically live until we die. That's what we're here for. Everything in between is just basically gravy. It's just extras which we want to do. But that's the whole reason. We are human beings, and we're creatures of habit, and we like material things. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. We've got a few comments there. Sorry, I went into a big rant there. I wanted to get that that topic off. I just want to see what you thought about that. Just click on my ID, see my name, blah blah. Okay, right, that's that. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up where we are. If the hobby gets ridiculous, one is doing it wrong. See, like I say, I don't know where he's come from. I've had a look at his page, and there's nothing there. But I think he's just came across it. He's looking up Tudor GMTs. So if he's looking up Tudor GMTs and saw my video, he's obviously got some interest in a Tudor GMT. So I think he's just kind of ranting on. Like I say, the GMT issue, like my next video that's coming up, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this as well. Let's have a look here. I'm just going to quickly go through the comments quickly and I'll get onto it. Yeah, those chrono certified Chinese movements. Yep, we do know that. This guy sounds less like a watch enthusiast, more like a wine. He is. I think that's it. Like I say, I can see the underlying thing there. He's got a bit of grounds, but I think a lot of it's just trying to be insulting. Like, he spent some time on it. Give him that, especially typing that out on YouTube. It must be right palaver. Or master of clickbaiter. Yes, that's another one. Thank you, sir. Ignore him. He's a twat. Yeah. I just like doing it. I like poking the dead horse. See if I get a response. I'll put up my Rolex against your Chinese movement for longevity and accuracy. Like I say, it's like my Tudors. They're like 1 second a day, and it's constant. My father owns several Tudors, and I have two myself. Fantastic what they are. I went in going to buy one. If I'm all honest, I went in get the 58, the BB58. Had it on order for 4 months. Came in, then I had a GMT in the window, and I said, "Can I put that on the wrist?" Because the reason why I didn't put a deposit on both was because I knew I would walk out with both. So if the GMT wasn't there, I wouldn't buy it, and it was in the window, so I kind of went away with the BB50 and then put a deposit on the GMT to pick it up the next week. It's a great watch other than the date issue, which I will get into. But if none of you know me, GMT had the date issue, got sent off, came back 2 weeks ago, got back, it's been fine since. But I got a email off a guy I think it was down south. I think it was Essex. I'm not going to give it his name because what he's done is a bit underhand. in my own personal opinion. However, the reason he did it was logical, and what the outcome is very revealing of what's happening with Tudor in this GMT issue. But basically what he did was he bought his watch in December, no, it was December this year, December 2019, or last year, I should say. And it came to January and he heard about the date issue. He didn't realise it anyway. He went to the AD at the back end of January and basically said, look, I've got the date issue. Showed him a picture that basically, well, he didn't even show him a picture actually, he just said, and the AD took him at face value and said, okay, we'll send it off. In reality, the watch had not presented the issue. He said he just put it down because he wanted them to double check. So he basically lied. That's what he did. And that's the underhand bit of it. But anyway, it came out with something else. 4 weeks later, the AD rang up, says, right, we fixed it. And this is what got a bit, because he said he was expecting them just to say, no, it's a fine bill of health. It's a new movement, doesn't have the issue. However, when he got it back, he got the receipt for parts that had been changed and the issue that had been found. So this guy had sent a watch off that didn't present with the issue. However, Tudor had basically changed a part that they said had an issue, which hadn't presented yet. So what that says to me is all of these GMTs that are going out have the issue. No matter what you say, Tudor know about it, and they're only changing the issue when they get it, and they're changing it for parts, and I don't know if these parts are fixing. I know people have sent them away 2-3 times, and it's still happening. And in all honesty, I think what Tudor are doing is they're just keeping on the law. They're not asking for a recall because they don't have a full fix yet. They're just kind of, and this is the other thing with this extended warranty. I think that's another factor of why they've extended the warranty on Tudor, because they're having this issue primarily with the GMT. The rest of them seem to be fine. I've heard some BB58 movements stopping and stuff, but that's rare and far between. But if you have a watch that doesn't have an issue, right, and it goes back to Tudor, which meant to have tested it, right, or Rolex actually, because it goes back to a Rolex centre to get done, mine did, and they then come back with a list of parts that they have changed because it had an issue, doesn't that say that even if your watch doesn't have an issue, Tudor are changing parts because they know fine well at some point that's going to fail? And like I say, it was cheeky what he did, but I think it's proved something, that Tudor are hiding something bigger. They are actually know that these watches have got a fault and it's going to happen, and they're just changing it blindly when they get the watches in. They're not questioning anything like that. Now, when I went to the AD and when I picked it up, and to be honest, somebody on my channel commented saying he actually went to the Metro Centre Beaverbrook where I got my watch from, and he says he came in, they give him his watch and says, oh, this one doesn't have the issue. And I went, no, that's bull, because when I went in, they said they had 10 back, and they asked for when mine was made, and it says November, and he says, right, we've had one for December in. And they've said they've had 10 back, and basically I said, but you told me this problem didn't exist when I bought the watch, because I wouldn't have bought it if they said, oh, it's got a date issue, don't, I would have said, no, that's fine, I'll just go away with the BB58. However, when I said that, he says, but this is what Tudor are telling us. They're telling us we don't have a problem. And this is the other thing, they took my watch without a question. I had a picture of it as well. I took it on my phone. It says, look, that's what it's done. They didn't even want to see the picture. They just says, right, we'll take it in. Now, if the AD didn't have an inclination that Tudor was saying there was no problem, if the AD had basically took it in without any question, they know there's a problem. They just want to keep face and they just want to keep thing. But there's something more in between. I think I'm going to do a video analysing this email. I'm keeping his identity under wraps because what he did was, I'm not going to say deceive him, because he's proved something. I think he wanted to prove it, because there was he bought one on the bracelet actually, and he spent basically close off $3,000 on a watch, and he just wanted to make sure it was perfect, and he had doubts. And like I say, he didn't want to send it back to get a refund because technically there wasn't anything wrong with it. So he thought, right, if I do this, I'll get a service, I'll get opened up, I'll get told it's all okay, I don't have to worry. But in fact, he's actually got more worry, because they've come back, changed parts that he didn't think they'd changing, and said, yes, they had the issue, there you go, even though it didn't present it. So obviously they don't know that, he knows that. So it's just through a pile of things in my head ticking, and I'm going to, like I say, that's going to be a very big video. But anyway, let's move on. That's, like I say, your thoughts put in the comments, but I definitely think it's there's something going on, like I say, and don't get me wrong, it might not be as big of an issue, this Tudor date issue that people are making out, but the thing is, and I'm bad for it myself. If something goes wrong, you shout about it. If something's going right, you don't. So there might be the fact of 95% of the watches out there are fine, but you only hear the 5% because if you're unhappy, you shout about it, and that's what it is. The majority of people are happy. You're not going to sit there and go, "Yay, my watch doesn't have it." Way. You're going to sit there and go, "No, my watch has it." Boo, 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 and that's where it comes on to. So like I say, if I'm unhappy, I've spent quite a lot of money on a Tudor. I want it to work. My Seikos are keeping good time, and my Seikos don't have a date issue, nor does my Vostok. And that's £100 watch, nor does my Pagani with that cheap Chinese movement that won't keep time. Sorry, I didn't mean that, but here, let's have a look here. Yes, fan experience for travel Rolex cost and such. Like I say, I'm not one for Rolex. Like I say, I know I can take the engineering, I can take this, that, and the other. I just think it's the most of the people that I know that have Rolexes, and to be honest, somebody I know, and I'm not going to say anything because if somebody sees me and they'll realise who I'm talking about, he goes around with a Daytona on his wrist, and he's also got a Royal Oak. He's got a Royal Oak. And to be honest, most people that I hang around with don't know watches. I'm the only one that knows. I haven't been close enough to him to actually see if they're fake, but I know he comes from quite a affluent family. So no doubt there might not be, but I can't get close enough to tell. And that's the thing. I can't get close enough to tell, but the instinct, even in my mind as a watch guy, is they could be fake. They're fake before I can prove they're genuine. That's one reason I don't like buying these type of watches. Tudor, like I say, on the other hand, is a bit more understated. It's what people say is the poor man's Rolex. It's not anymore. And to be honest, I think Tudor prices will start to, they have been going up. It's starting to get a bit more popular since the whole stainless steel Rolex thing that's going on at this moment in time, which is, yet again, manipulation of the market. Totally. Let's have a look there, but that's just me. Yes, well, like I say, I can take Rolex. If I earned enough money, I would get a sub. I would get a Hulk. I want a Hulk. That's the one Rolex I do hang over. That or a GMT2. I can afford one, but I buy a brand new dirt bike every. Oh god, I've stopped buying bikes. Like I say, I need. I've got 4 now. I don't buy new bikes. I kind of keep them. I get attached to them. I've only ever sold. No, I've sold 2 bikes actually. Me MT-09 I sold for my B King, and my wife used to ride an RD 125LC, which is a 2-stroke that was hilarious. 125LD, 100 miles an hour was fun as anything. But when we had kids, she wasn't going to ride it anymore, so we did that. 100% the truth, the reason I have a pure envying tool. And I thought, but that's not uncovered. So I'm just catching up with the convo, so just bear with me. This is common auto industry forever. I can't tell you the number of computer upgrades alone one of my cars has had. Well, that's the thing. Modern day and age, I can certainly afford a Rolex, but to me, it's one of those things that screams, "Look at me, I got a Rolex." That's the thing. Do you know what? If I had a Rolex, it would mainly just be in the house because I would appreciate it more. I wouldn't go out there as a show thing. I appreciate the engineering with it, but I can't justify spending 14 grand on a Hulk at this moment in time just for me to appreciate it. And there's so many fakes out there that people don't know what they're in. Do you know what? I went to work, this side note, I went to work with this on. This is my Pagani Hulk. 6 people commented. 4 people said nice Rolex until I corrected them. 2 other people said, "Is that a fake?" And that's the thing. That's a 60 quid watch, and at a distance you can't tell. And that's, so I could have gone around and at a distance just put it on my cuff, and I could have been wearing a 14 grand watch for all they know. In a meeting, when you're glancing, unless you're a watch guy that can kind of pick out from a mile away, you're not going to know the difference. And that's the thing. It's a lot of money to spend just to say I've got the money when you can do that. And I don't do that for the thing. I like the watch. That's why I was wearing it. But yeah, it's one of them things. It's just, again, human nature. You think this. That's exactly right. Negative heard around the world, and the positive is already discussed. That's the thing. Back to that one. D, you're still on here. Oh, yes, I'm still on here. Yeah, I love my Rolex watches. I wear them for me. I don't give a damn what others think. And that's what the watch thing is about. You don't give 2 monkeys. It sounds like Tudor have rushed the prototype of production without any. They have. Don't get me wrong, Tudor, Rolex actually had this issue, but they fully fixed it. So if you do look into it, Rolex did have a date issue at one point, and technically this movement is developed and things they work side by side. Rolex and Tudor basically are in bed, same thing. They go through the same factory for a lot of their testing and production, and that's why I got it. It's basically just a very very cheaper Rolex at the same quality. Lots of fake Tudors out there, don't you worry. There is lots of fake Tudors out there, I do note. I'm part of a site, and I've joined it just for the sake of looking what the market's doing for fake watches, and it's quite scary how many fakes are out there, including Tudors. I've looked at BB. I was actually debating whether to buy a BB58 fake to compare it against mine, just to show people how good these fakes are getting. There is a GMT as well, but that's slightly more expensive. And I don't want to spend money on a fake because obviously I won't get it back. You can't sell fakes, and really I shouldn't be buying them. But like I say, the fake I've got there are deep sea fakes because somebody sent us it just to say, look, can you use it in a video to kind of alert people of it? And it says yes, you can. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's more of a public service announcement. But I don't particularly want to spend 350 quid, I think, on this super fake BB58 when I could be spending it on a Zelos. Let's have a look here. Let's but what you like and don't worry about others say. Yes, that's it, Peter. You're exactly right. You just do what you like, and that's my bravado. That's my way of thought. Anyway, Pop has a Hulk. He won't let me near it. That tells you something. Oh, you Pop. So yeah, you see it. That I don't think I would let anybody near a Hulk if I had it. Like say. At the Metro Centre, my local shopping centre I have, there's a shop there that has two Hulks in the window, and they've been there for, I dare say, 3 months now. One's 13.8, the other one's 14 grand. And I look at it every day and I think, whoa. There's also a Omega Super Ocean or Planet Ocean Big Blue, which is this blue ceramic cased blue and orange watch, which I would love. That's my type. Blue and orange, colours that should never go. They are nice. I like Gulf colours. Even though they're not Gulf, it's not like a duck egg blue, it's like a dark blue, but I like blue and orange, and I think it's because of the Gulf. I like Le Mans GT40 type of colours, all that stuff, but I'm not even going to get into that. Like I say, that's another topic for another day. Yeah, let's have a look there. If I won $1 million, I would spend half on drugs, hookers, and the rest on. At least you're honest, because to be honest, I think a lot of people do exactly the bloody same. Like I say, we just wouldn't say out, but yeah. Actually, to be honest, me boss knows two people who won the lottery, and put this way, one spent it all and he's basically living in a flat now, and the other one just got bugged by charities to basically give them all the money, because even though the lottery gives you the money, they'll also tell charities that they work for that you've won the money, and they'll come after you to get the money off you to go back into charities. It's, at the end of the day, it's a tax on the poor, but that's me. And we both have GMT Master and Twos, great watches, very underrated. Like I say, there's another watch shop in Durham. Last time I went, that had a GMT 2 in. I was going to ask him if I could wear it, but I thought that was cheeky because, yet again, people I before at the time when I went into that shop to look, or it's not even a shop, it's in a market, so you walk down the aisles and stuff. But I was actually wearing a Seiko Monster. And I know fine well, if I went up with a Seiko Monster going, can I try that Rolex on? I can guarantee what you would have turned around and looked at us like, what the hell are you doing? You know, you've got Seiko on your wrist. However, if I turned up with the Tudor, like yet again, it's people's kind of the way you come across to people, and people judge people and the way they look, what they wear, and stuff like that. It's not what they should do, because like I say, I don't live where I do live. I live comfortably. I don't have to worry about bills. That's what I like. But people nowadays just, it's all about how you look and money and stuff like that. I can't get away with that. Even if I was a millionaire, I would still work, maybe not as much, and I would still basically live in a small house. I would just basically, have lots of cars and motorbikes and a 6-bay garage. That's what I would have. I'd have a normal size house, but a 6-bay back garage, and the wife would be very happy because she would lock us away in there, and I would be, hey, at this moment in time, I have I've got an outhouse which has 3 bikes stuffed in it, hence why the 4th one is behind me, because I can't get it in. But let's have a look there. County Fee and the Tudor North Flag. The Tudor North Flag I want to try on, but do you know what? If it wasn't for the GMT, I would have gone for the North Flag, because that is good. The only thing that gets it about North Flag is its lugs. It's got one of the weird integrated lug setups where it's got the small centre lug, but it does have a display case back on it, which I wish the BB58 had. I just wish it did. But obviously water resistance and stuff. But people make dive watches, like say this Victorinox or Swiss Army one, which is 500 meters, has a display case back on, as you can see. So it can be done. Zelos make display case backs on the hammerheads, which is 1,000 meters, so can be done. Let's have a look here. God, this is a good conversation. I'm going to be up for a while. Like I say, I might, let's have a look there. It's nearly 10:30. I might go to around 11:15 and then kind of put off because, like I say, I need to get to bed. But, like I say, I like this conversation. Like I say, like-minded people. Like I say, thanks for, if you have liked this video, please put a like up as well, because, like I say, it does help us out, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. And, like I say, thanks for the company. Because, like I say, in this day and age where I'm in lockdown, I've got the family and a few work colleagues and stuff like that, but in all honesty, socially, it's gone down the drain. So this is very nice to have. Right, let's have a look. Lord knows plenty of companies have rolled out products without eyeing them out. Just ask anybody that owns a 19 Mustang Cobra. Oh, the story. Well, to be honest, my BMW 330 had the issue that would combust into flames with the EGR cooler. That was another one, and they didn't really say that until the DVLA said, no, you need to push it. You know, cars are going up in flames. But, you know, and Dieselgate with VW, but that was more the fact of cheating emissions. But, you know, I do like my diesels. I like my coal burners and my oil burners. Ditto, I'm on the site, not seen the 58 yet. Like I say, the 50... There is one up there, yeah. I'm not going to mention it. Trusty Times, is that the one you're on? Just say yes or no. But there is definitely a high value super one of the BB58. It's got a 2838 movement in, if I recall. It's gold in the back, so just have a look. He's got the case back's open, you can see it. That's a great watch, Dean. I know Watchbox has one right now with box papers. It's killing me knowing it's there. That's the problem. When you know there's something there with a price on it and you can see it, it just begs you. There's half the time I'm sitting, like, I try to keep off eBay at this moment in time. The other watch I want is an Oris. I really fancy an Oris Aquis, preferably in green, or the Great Barrier Reef one, which was blue and yellow. And there's a few come up, and I'm sitting there going, when I actually went to the AD to put my deposit down in the Tudor, I actually looked at a green Aquis. Good watch, but the thing is with the Oris, they've got a standard ETA, was it 20, 30, I forgot what ETA is, but it's the lower version of the ETA. But that Swiss Army watch there has actually got a higher rated movement in than the Aquis, and that's a cheaper. Well, I paid 180 quid for that watch. Did do some work on it, as you know. Part 2 of that video is coming, I promise. But like I say, I just can't. Tudor's got an in-house movement. I felt a bit kind of, yeah, I can justify the money, but an Oris with a ETA in it, yeah, nah. Let's have a look there. Yes, North Flag watch I will get in the next 6 months unless Tudor brew something new. Well, to be honest, Tudor no doubt will go the same way as Rolex of delaying their releases till next year, so only 12 months maybe. A lot of people are debating whether another colour scheme on the BB58 or the GMT. But I definitely think there's another colour scheme for the BB58 going to be out. A lot of people are saying blue. I wouldn't. A maroon one would be nice, actually. But I do actually, to be honest, the BB58 as it stands is the best colour scheme in my mind. That's the one I love, and that's the one that's always going to be there. But I have clear coup. That's first. Aye, perfect. You'll get there. My plan exactly: regular house with a 6-bay garage full of Mustangs. I would have one Mustang in it. I wouldn't mind a Shelby GT 350. That's my kind of, with the traditional blue and, well, white and blue colour scheme. Blue stripes, white body. Or, to be honest, black with gold stripes. I'm sure they did a black with gold stripes one. That's my kind of, I would like one of them. All traditional. And I would have a GT40. GT40 is my car that I want. And then an Ariel Atom V8 for me playing around the doors. And then basically the other 6 bays would just be full of classic bikes and super bikes and bikes. Preferably two-stroke. Two-stroke GP 500s, RG 500s, Aprilia 500s, 250s. I'm a two-stroke fan. But yeah, I'm just one of them. And to be honest, Levy, you'll be a two-stroke fan if you like blooming off-road bikes, because there's a lot of two-strokes out there in the off-road market, such as maybe the CR500 I would like, but to be honest, that would kill me, I think, if I got a blooming off-road CR200 Honda. But I would love one of them in a road bike frame. Will be on my plan to do. Got to run, fellas. It's been awesome. Thank you. No problem, Levy. See you around. It's been fun having you here, and thanks for joining us and putting up for us for this long. See you. Like I say, it's good chatting you all. Let's have a look. Peter, this is where I'm up to, Peter. Dean, did you see Rob messing with the sign bracelet earlier? I saw that earlier. I was watching it before this video came up. I haven't finished it yet because I had to actually do this. Only diesel I cover now is the Ford Power Stroke truck. The Power Stroke engine is a very good engine. It is, yeah, big beast. In the UK, you never see them just because how big they are. So it's something you don't see. No mate, another Facebook group. Let's have a look. Peter Stone. Yes, I did enjoy it. Boys, don't buy now. Honestly, prices not hit the bottom yet. No, they haven't. They've got that the PO2. Hey, the PO2. I was watching God, there's a watch channel. I just watched it about the PO Blooming 2, or PO1, I should say. Obviously that SKX Tudor, as I call it, because it's an SKX Tudor based off the one. But to be honest, there's one yet again. The Metro Centre, the one with the shop, the AD that was selling the Hulk had two in, and I was being with a try one on. But yeah, that's a what year GT35 classic old and one old. So I like the new, but the old one. I like carburetors. I like analog. I like old. I like messing with things. I say the only bike that I own that has fuel injections, my B King, which is my hell bike. My Suzuki's carbureted two-stroke. My GS is a carbureted two-stroke. My CX500 CAF Racer is a carbureted. I like feeling everything and all that. The B King though is hilarious, but I would have to be honest, I would have one of the modern Shelbys as well, just for the fun of it. You know, you need something. The PO is harking back to the first Alien movie. Oh, are you talking about the Ripley, the Seiko Ripley chronograph? I'm guessing that's what you mean. Yeah, another watch that I let out my grip. I was going to buy one of them a few years back now. I regret doing it. It was original as well. I would have made a bit of money on that if I was going to sell it, but I wouldn't have. I've got weird pre-modded Kawasakis with a display case back and a decent bracelet. With all the text in English, brand new, 120, it's still got a daft. It is. It's one thing with the Vostocks I can't get over is that daft date. Let's say I don't use the date complication on my Vostocks. It's just lucky if I pick it up and it's at the right date, if I'm all honest. Let's have Time in the UK, PO2, who makes that? No, the PO1, it's Tudor. Yeah, well, you'll know the prototype for the Navy done in the 68, wasn't it? Supposedly, anyway. I've forgotten who it is now. There's a watch channel, a good watch channel, who does the very good face-ups of them. Watch collector, watch something or other. They've just done one. Say the title is the fake Tudor, which is the basic one about how it looks very similar to a Rolex, but yeah, that's how Fossil on Bussy's still cooking. Welcome back, Levy. different Bernie brisket. No, like see, I hope you saw about the me comment on that. Oh, Honda 754. See, I'm going to put one out here. Time in the UK, I would have a Suzuki GE 752 stroke over the fourth, the 754, or a Laverda 750. No, a Laverda Thou triple. I would have the Laverda 750 twin. I like my class. My dad used to work in the bike shop around here, and he used to have all the GEs and all these old bikes. He used to ride them, or the Honda 6, the Honda Thou 6. That's what I would like. I wouldn't mind 754. Like if somebody said, "Oh, do you want one?" I would, I would have a Honda 4. But I really love my classic bikes. Like I say, I want more. I just need a bigger garage, and once I get a bigger garage, I might have to say me watches will have to the amount them buying and watches will have to decrease because I will save up for Suzuki GT 750. Get the Micron cans on, get the stingers on, get them in. That's what I want. On RG 500 Suzuki with the weird square engine configuration. It was basically two engines stuck together like that. But I want a two-stroke. I want another two-stroke big capacity. But anyway, let's have a look. Can you legally import that to the UK? The thing will pollute like no. Yes, you can. There's rules and regs about dates. It's like technically that bike behind me there is two strokes are well. There's a lot of places ban two strokes because of the fumes and the. When I was at uni, I actually proved that two strokes are actually more fuel efficient if you put fuel injection in. So it actually injects the fuel when the ports are closed. They're more efficient than a four stroke, but nobody wants to make them because they've already put the money into four-stroke engines. But anyway, like I say, I studied as an automotive design engineer. That's what I studied at uni, and then I've fell into subsea hydraulic engineering for some weird reason. But I've turned into Jonathan Wassey there. But I studied as an automotive engineer. But hey ho, let's have a look. But yeah, you can. It's date related in the UK. I think over anything before 1982, I think, doesn't need a catalytic converter. Or technically, before 1982, I can run open headers on a vehicle, which my CX500 is basically doing. It's after that the regulations start to get tighter. It's actually based on the year, not the present day regulation. Like that bike behind me this year is MOT and tax exempt. So technically, that doesn't need a fitness of kind of roadworthiness from now on. But it's just the way the UK is, in all honesty. But it is good for classic vehicles because you can get them over, and it doesn't matter about the emissions or anything like that. You can get them through as long as they're below that threshold of when the actual regulation came in. Because some vehicles that old, they don't actually need an MOT because they weren't about when MOTs were about. But like I say, I've looked through them many a time just to get through things like that. The only thing is, if you modify them to a degree, there's a certain limit where if you modify them, they class them as a new vehicle because there's more new parts than old, and then it becomes quite complicated with Q plates and all that. But anyway, I've got off watches there. I've gone back into cars and bikes and all that. I have a Ripley. Have I seen your Ripley? Have you done a video sling driver on your Ripley? Because it might be somebody else. I've seen one. Is it black or silver? Is it? I forgot what the robot's called now. Because there was a silver one, the black one. And obviously you've got the Ripley and you've got the. I'm big into my Alien movies, but my brain's just gone at the moment. I have all the watches from the Alien movie. Hard to gather them all, but I did it. It is, like say, trying to find one on eBay at the moment is a pain in the backside. Honestly, a Tudor PO2 is repute to be in the pipeline. Well, the thing is, I don't get about that. I thought the PO1 was a bit of a flop. Don't get me wrong, I can see, like you say, good on Tudor for doing it, but I thought it was a bit of a flop the way it was taken up. So if they're doing a PO2, it'd be interesting to see what take they do on it. The hardest of the aliens to get a hold of is the PO. That's the one. That's the one. Very hard to find. Well done, Levy. And so, of course, the GT burns lead high octane fuel. Well, the thing is over here as well, we've got quite high octane compared to what you run in America. Our standard octane level over here is 95. I think over your way is like 82 or 85. So over here, the actual high octane stuff's like 98, 100 octane. Some places next to racetracks over here actually run 105 octane for like races coming up. They'll put it in, but yeah, you have to have leaded additive though, because we don't do 4-star anymore leaded fuels because of all the cancer and stuff like that. They just don't do it, so you have to put leaded fuels into them. Let's have a look here. Done that. Can't find that today here. No, you won't. Like say, you have to put additive in here, and we're lucky with the high octane fuel because we do have it. I used to have a 1958 Beetle modded to 200 and no seat belts indicators. And you're still here to tell the tale, God. I wouldn't mind getting a modded Beetle, actually. I've always fancied getting a Beetle and putting either a Scooby engine in it or an old Porsche air-cooled in it, which I've seen a few people do. It would be hilarious, but it would be death trap. If you crashed one of them, if you didn't have a roll cage in, you wouldn't have anything left. I had a GT 350 back in the day. Fantastic bike. Love the two-strokes. It is the GT 350 was basically a smaller version of the GT 500, if I recall. And they used to come in the T350. I'm getting into bikes now. This is what I want. Come on, people. Watches, bikes. This is my type of conversation. If only we're in walking distance reach. Well, no, you have to keep it 2 meters apart, don't you? You could sit in a certain, like-minded people. This is what I like. Need group chats. That's what people need now. But I don't know if you can do that on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff. That'd make a great video. That's our black one and silver one, and the Bishop and Space Marine and Buick. Yeah, like I say, the black and silver one, the Bishop, that's the one, Bishop. Yeah, Bishop was the android, wasn't he? That's what you want. How did you get traction on Earth? The same way a Porsche would, I would guess. Nah, there's some crazy Beetles out there. Like, I've seen some people with them. Standard octane here is 87, high is 91 and 93. See, this is the thing. Standard here is 95 full stop. The only problem is they're putting in ethanol now, which is a problem with the classic stuff because the ethanol eats away at the tanks and the fuel piping and stuff like that. Ethanol's horrible stuff. It's good if your vehicle's prepared for ethanol. It's good stuff because you can get more performance out of it. But for classic vehicles and stuff, it eats the hell out of tanks. Like that tank, the tank in here, even though it's solid, the surface thrust in that tank off the ethanol's terrible. But hey ho, I was talking about the GT 350 Mustang. This is the confusion. Suzuki did a GT 350 two-stroke motorbike, and then I think they took that out of the range for the GT 250 or the GT 500. Oh, this is a good conversation. I like this. I get AV gas at airport for my dirt scooters. That's clean stuff. Like if you can get that. I used to buy high octane race fuel. Smells lovely. Oh, do you know what the best smell is? Castrol two-stroke oil. You'll never smell anything like it. I've actually got a bottle in my shed, which I put a cap for that. I don't use it in that because it varnishes the barrels like nothing else. You can't use it. It's a organic. It's used out of castor bean basically, but you can't mix organic and synthetic oils. It just gags it up. But the thing is with even though it's good at lubrication, it varnishes up the cylinders and stuff like nothing else, so I don't use it. I put a capful in the fuel, it gives you the smell. And you can put it in your car as well. I used to put it in my micros, and it used to smell a lovely Castrol. But anyway, let's have a look. I used to buy 4-cylinder base stuff there. I used to buy, let's stay here. I'm talking about the Suzuki. Any recreative drivers in here? I'm supposed to be on a dive trip right now to Baja, Mexico. Not for a bit. Any recreational divers here? Do you know what? I've got more dive watches and I've never dived in my life. Even I am meant to be going on my survival course for offshore, which basically get dunked in a helicopter 9 times. Dunked, flipped, get out of the window. I'm dreading it. If I have to, I'm with the kids and stuff. I'm not planning on doing it anytime soon, but my sister's done a few bits of dive, but it's not really something that's ever done. Appealed to me. I like dive watches, but I don't do any diving. I'm the typical person. I'm a desk diver. I've got all these dive watches and I never use them for what the purpose is. Sorry, a weird noise just came from the back of my ear. I was just listening to what it was. Ethanol eats up my 200 Mustang. I have to use additives. Yeah, you have to use additives. See, I think we've got about 5% ethanol in our fuel at the moment, but they're open it for eco reasons. But it's horrible stuff. Get more, yeah. See, you get more fuel efficiency and it's slightly more power, but it just eats everything. Oh man, I love the smell of Maxima 2-stroke oil. I use Silcoline in that. I use Silcoline oil in that, and that smells quite nice. We get Cam 2 race fuel here. Smells wonderful. Yeah, it can't beat race fuel. We've got onto vehicles now, haven't we? We've gone off watches and getting into vehicles. If you don't know, I've got another channel called Ginger Geordie Biker, which I do all my things. I think it's got about 4,000 subscribers now, but because I've got a family, I can't take the bikes out, so I don't do as many videos on that. Hence the watch channel came about. But anyway, my back wouldn't survive it nowadays. Wreck diver back in the day in the 80s, I gave up a long time ago. It's something I would like to do, but it's just... It sounds bad, but I've got this thing about having my head underwater without any goggles on. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I was scarred as a child, but it freaks the hell out of me. I can swim and do that, but put my head underwater, it freaks us out. Don't know why. That's up to the other channel too. Thank you. Like I say, there's not many videos coming up on that of late because I can't get out, but I am planning on doing a few once we move house, which hopefully will be this year. So there is video earlier from a review crap about watch commissioned by called the Save. Haven't seen that. Post a link of that. That might be interesting to watch. Oh, let's have a look. Right, chaps, I'm going to have 5 more minutes and I'm going to have to go because, like I say, it's 22:11 in the night in my country. To be honest, time in the UK will know this because he's up at the same time as me. But like I say, I need to get everything sorted and clean up the mess behind us. But I'm going to constant chat for the next 5 minutes or so. Come on, let's have a go. Let's be honest. The reason we do watches is we don't have the space or time for cars. That's why I've got 40 watches, because I would have 40 cars if I've got more than 40 watches now, actually. But yes, like I said, that's the reason I've got motorbikes, because I can fit more than one motorbike in a shed. I've got, like I say, 3 out there and that one there. I've got 4 motorbikes. I did have 6 at one point. One actually sat in the kitchen behind the table, which was technically my wife's. That was the RD125LC. That sat there for a bit, and then the kids came along and said, we can't have a motorbike in the kitchen. And have one in the conservatory, though. Full of fuel as well, because you have to keep them full of fuel so the tank doesn't rust with the ethanol. Pain, let's be honest. Oh man, I have so many colourful comments about just let them blurt, trust me. Blurt. Blurt's quite a nice word, blurt. Sounds the way it comes out, doesn't it? Blurt. Oh, let's have more or less right. I have to go soon. Time to cook dinner. I'd love to have a 40 Mustangs. I'd be kicked out mine. Put this way, especially with me CX500, I have to push it out of the cul-de-sac before started. It's that loud. And my B King isn't as loud, but it sounds it's loud, but it's nicely loud. It sounds lovely. It does have a special alarm for when the Hulk boys. Yeah. It's a bit of a mixed take on it, to be honest. Only got one. This beer survives for another day. That's surprising. This Life and Death. If you ever get a can of Life and Death, it's a very nice beer. Just don't drink too much, because I will do it. I see you, Dave. Like I say, nice for you to come along. It's been a great chat. Like I say, it's lovely for you to come along, because like I say, you use what make it worth actually putting this channel together and actually running it, because like-minded people, like-minded chat. Like I say, this chat here, it's been the best chat I've had for a long time, because trying to find people that are into watches, motorbikes, cars is very hard these days to do, especially getting one area. But like I say, chatting to people around the world and getting a video feed as well, it's great. Let's have a look here. He finished his beer, I know, and I had two. I was planning on finishing 2 beers, but the conversation's been that good. I've been chatting too much to drink, which is quite surprising for me. But you have done something that not many people can actually do, is stop me from drinking. That sounds like I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. If I plan on drinking 2 beers, I will drink 2 beers. I haven't drunk 2 beers, even though I was planning on 2. But hey ho, here covered Catholics. Damn called us. Damn called the sacristan. Yeah. Do you know what? There's a town up here where I went to school at called Sacristan. It's called Sega. And just as it's a dive. Just Sacristan. Sacristan. Special test school. Oh, this has got into the bad part of the conversation now, hasn't it? I guess that's a good thing. Very useful complication. Happy Easter, everyone. It is. Happy Easter. Yes, it's Easter. It's Easter Sunday tomorrow. If it was the normal Easter Sunday, I would be getting on my bike to do the Easter egg run, where we deliver eggs to hospitals with around about 500 to 600 bikers. We bring the Northeast to a standstill, basically, but obviously with Corona, we can't do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag our bikes out of the shed. At 12 o'clock, we're going to start them off, and we're going to do a rev salute. Just to basically say, look, we're still here. I don't know how many people are going to do it. I'm going to pee off so many people in my neighbourhood, but, if all 600 bikers do it at once, we should be able to hear, especially at this moment in time with everybody staying in-house, everything's very eerily quiet, so 600 bikes, even if it's in 2 mile radius of each other, you'll hear them, so that's it. Perfect segue to Cheers, enjoyed it. Catch you next time. Catch you later, GMA. Like I say, thanks for joining in. I'm going in a minute, so like I say, much appreciated. It's been lovely talking to you all. Like I say, and also Celine Driver, I'll have a look at your email. I'll get all that sorted out with sending things and stuff like that. I'll try and get that off to you next week. Now, like I say, I need to get that Celine out. I guess it's been polished a lot, though. If you like me, you polish, even though it hasn't been out and it's not dirty, you will polish things to the nth degree. It just protects everything. Nice chat, good watch, stay safe, everyone. Like I say, next live chat and planning is 2 weeks from today, same time, same place, same general random conversation. So please join us for that. I will be doing more videos in the meantime on these. I've got a few good ones coming up, so keep watching for that. And like I say, if it wasn't for yous out here, I wouldn't be doing this channel. So thanks for coming along. Like I say, I think I had a maximum of 13 people here, and I've had a constant 9, I think. So like I say, best live feed I've had. And like I say, and I will catch us all later. And keep safe, obviously, in these times. And like I say, if you need anything, even just a general chat about anything, please just put on the drop us an email on my email address that I've put in the conversation there. More than happy to help you out and anything like that. And I think with that, I'm going to have to call it now, or we'll be going on all night. But like I say, I love yous and leave yous. As always, from Grimwood Watch Modern Channel and Kyle Grimwood myself, keep safe, and I shall see you soon. Over and out. Oh, now I have to end the stream. I don't know where the button is. Hey, there we go. See you later. Way.